In all these commands we've been running with Docker create and start, there's kind of one oddity that I want to show you really quickly. Let's do a container creation and then a start, and you'll see some kind of weird behavior. I'm going to run Docker create busybox, and then we're going to set up that ping command again. So I'll say ping google.com. That's going to create the container. I can then copy the ID right here and do Docker start and paste that ID. And you'll notice that I did not put in the -a. So I have not attached this container. When I run that command, I see the ID of the container echoed back to me. And then I can do a Docker logs and paste that ID in. And I'll see that, yep, it is in fact running the ping command. And if I do the Docker ps command, I can see, yep, that container is running and it's continuing to execute the ping command. Now there's just one kind of odd thing here. How do we actually stop this container? Remember, the ping command is going to essentially go on forever, and we have to actually send it a signal and tell it, hey, ping command, please stop, like you're all done. No need to reach out to Google anymore. So we need to figure out a way to stop this running container. In the past, we've just been hitting Control-C on our keyboard, or we've allowed the container to automatically stop itself, as was the case with the echo command. So in order to stop a container that seems to be running amok on its own, we can issue either the Docker stop command or the Docker kill command. Both these are going to stop the running container, but they look like they kind of do the same thing here. So what's the difference between them? Well, here's what happens behind the scenes. When you issue a Docker stop command, a hardware signal is sent to the process, or the primary process inside that container. In the case of Docker stop, we send a sig term message, which is short for terminate signal. It's a message that's going to be received by the process, telling it essentially to shut down on its own time. Sig term is used anytime that you want to stop a process inside of your container and shut the container down, and you want to give that process inside there a little bit of time to shut itself down and do a little bit of cleanup. A lot of different programming languages have the ability for you to listen for these signals inside of your code base. And as soon as you get that signal, you could attempt to do a little bit of cleanup, or maybe save some file or emit some message or something like that. On the other hand, the Docker kill command issues a sig kill or kill signal to the primary running process inside the container. Sig kill essentially means you have to shut down right now, and you do not get to do any additional work. So ideally, we always stop a container with the Docker stop command in order to give the running process inside of it a little bit of time to shut itself down. Otherwise, if it feels like the container has locked up and it's not responding to the Docker stop command, then we could issue Docker kill instead. Now, one kind of little oddity or interesting thing about Docker stop, when you issue Docker stop to a container, if the container does not automatically stop in 10 seconds, then Docker is going to automatically fall back to issuing the Docker kill command. So essentially, Docker stop is us being nice, but it's only got 10 seconds to actually shut down. So let's now try using these commands on that kind of runaway container that we have right now. So I'll again do Docker ps, and I'll see that the ping google.com container is still running. So I'm going to take the ID right there, and I'll issue Docker stop, and then I'll paste that ID in. And then we're going to wait. And notice how we're kind of waiting here? We're going to end up waiting just about 10 seconds. We're waiting 10 seconds because it turns out that the ping command does not properly respond to a sig term message. The ping command doesn't really have the ability to say, oh yeah, I understand you want me to shut down. The ping command is rather, I don't know, what's the term for it? The ping command wants to do its own thing and it just wants to run forever. And so after we waited those 10 seconds, eventually the kill signal was sent to it telling it, hey, ping, you're done, get out of here, shut yourself down. And so that's why we had to wait a couple of seconds. Let's now take that container ID again. We're going to start the container back up and try killing it this time with using Docker kill. So I'll first start the container back up with Docker start, and I'll paste the ID in. And then I'll issue a Docker kill and paste the ID again. And then this time you're going to see that's it, instantly dead, no grace period, just get out of here. All right, so that's it. That's the two commands that we're going to use for closing down containers that are running. Remember, you can always get the ID of the container ahead of time with Docker PS. You can copy the ID and then run either Docker stop or Docker kill. And in general, I do recommend you use Docker stop to give the processes inside there a chance to shut down. And if they don't shut down nicely, as we saw with the ping command, eventually Docker is going to fall back to issuing a kill on the container instead. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's take another brief pause and continue in the next section.